We begin in the UK, where day 2 of President Trump's visit was less ceremonial and more down to business. He met with Prime Minister to discuss, among other things, trade and Brexit. The president told Theresa May the U.S. will support the UK after it leaves the EU. President Trump seemed untroubled by the thousands of demonstrators who turned out in downtown London. Today, the president will attend a 75th anniversary D-Day event before traveling to Ireland. A former deputy in Parkland, Florida, is now facing criminal charges, including child neglect and perjury, for failing to confront a gunman at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School last year. Scott Peterson never entered the building where the confessed gunman killed 17 people. His lawyer called the charges unprecedented and suggested his client is being used as a scapegoat. Closer to home, court documents tie Monday's double shooting in Shepherd to a drug deal gone bad. A second suspect involved in Monday's double shooting in Shepherd is now behind bars while authorities search for a third. The first suspect, 40-year-old Gregory Johnson, is charged with 2 counts of assault with a weapon in the shooting that left a man and teenage boy with bullet wounds in their home on Bees Lane. Sheriff's deputies arrested the second suspect around 11:30 Tuesday morning at a Billings home on Custer Avenue and 2nd Street West. This is footage that shows the deputies taking the man into custody. He did have an injury that was possibly a bullet wound. Sheriff Mike Linder says there were no shots fired during Tuesday's arrest, and the injury does not appear to be life-threatening. This was the shooting scene early Monday morning. Court documents state an adult man was shot 3 times in the right arm, right side of his chest, and in the back. The second victim, a teenage boy, was shot in the arm. The man's wife and their 2-year-old child were also in the home during the shooting, along with the teenager's girlfriend. The adult male victim identified Johnson as the shooter. Court documents state the man's wife told authorities intruders entered the family's unlocked back door and exchanged gunfire with her husband. A neighbor's surveillance video shows a flash coming from the home, then 3 people running out. Other videos show flashes coming from the house striking the fleeing vehicle. After his arrest, Johnson told deputies the first shots came from inside the home and his 2 companions fired back. He said he fired his gun into the air. Authorities are still searching for a third suspect. A man was taken into custody at gunpoint by Billings police right in front of Senior High School. It all happened just before noon on Tuesday. Callers reported someone waving a rifle out a car window. Officers rushed a small Ford sedan after it stopped in the westbound lane on Grand Avenue. A woman, 2 girls, and a boy exited the car as officers had their guns drawn. Police pulled a BB gun rifle and a small handgun from the vehicle. The male was arrested. Traffic was backed up and shut down while the scene unfolded. Another man arrested accused of threatening motorists with a handgun while riding his motorcycle in Laurel and Park City. 23-year-old Ryan Good is being held on assault charges. A press release from the Laurel Police Department states the first incident happened on Sunday when a man riding a Honda motorcycle pulled a handgun on a female driver in Laurel. A few hours later, the same motorcyclist pulled a handgun on a female driver and 2 children in Park City, threatening their lives. Good is also a possible suspect in a Billings chase earlier that day that apparently started after he allegedly fired a shot in the air. On Monday, the motorcycle was located, seized, and towed as evidence. Later that day, Good went to the police department and asked why his motorcycle had been towed. An officer identified Good as the same person in surveillance video, and he was arrested. A sad update as a second victim in March's Missoula road rage incident has died. 52-year-old Julie Blanchard died Monday while on the way to a Washington hospital, suffering with respiratory complications. The coroner tells Q2 Blanchard suffered cardiac arrest. There's no confirmation yet if her death is tied to the injuries she sustained in the March 14th shooting. That shooting also killed Shelley Hayes and left Casey Blanchard, Julie's son, a paraplegic. The shooter also critically wounded Trooper Wade Palmer, who was out looking for the gunman. A crash in the Billings Heights takes out a utility pole and sends 1 person to the hospital. A minivan and car collided near Swords Park on East Airport Road Tuesday night, shortly before 9 o'clock. The impact was enough to take down a nearby utility pole. Traffic was reduced to 1 lane. The current condition of the people involved is unknown. A meat smoker too close to a garage sends the building up in flames, slowing traffic on Highway 87. The Billings Fire Department was called to the 2500 block of Highway 87 North around 12:30 Tuesday afternoon. When they arrived, the detached garage was completely engulfed in flames. Assistant Fire Marshal Bill Tatum says a meat smoker up against an exterior wall ignited the wood siding, causing the fire. The garage is a total loss with estimated damages at $40,000. No injuries were reported. On the campaign trail, Montana Governor Steve Bullock will make his third trip to Iowa to campaign for president. His trip this weekend will take him to western Iowa on a 3-day swing with 8 scheduled stops. Bullock is spending most of his campaign time in Iowa as he tries to hit Democratic benchmarks to qualify for the upcoming Democratic debates. Bullock also made a pitch Tuesday to film production companies who are upset with the state of Georgia. He said Montana has a great business climate and new film tax credits. Georgia recently passed a strict anti-abortion law, and it could cost them in film industry dollars. Companies including Netflix, Disney, and AMC are considering pulling out. The industry accounted for $2.7 billion in direct spending last year. A brand new fossil haul at the Smithsonian Museum will feature the nation's T-Rex, who just happens to come from Montana. Q2's Samantha Sullivan spoke with the woman who first uncovered the once giant dinosaur some 30 years ago.
Hundreds of millions of years ago, dinosaurs roamed our state. Just over 30 years ago, Kathy Wonkel and her family were camping out near the Fort Peck Reservoir when she stumbled upon something in the clay.
Really, all of it was a corner of an envelope size, maybe 2 by 5 inches, but I could see the webbing of the bone marrow, and the light was just right, that I just knew it was bone.
What she had discovered would go on to be known as the nation's T-Rex.
And what we dug out turned out to be a shoulder blade and the lower arm of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So we took him home and called the Museum of the Rockies, so we knew they had the expertise.
After years at the Museum of the Rockies, the fossil was moved a few years back to the Smithsonian in Washington, D.C. And come Saturday, it will be a centerpiece of the newly unveiled David H. Koch Hall of Fossils.
You know, they told us that 6 to 7 million people from all over the world go through the Natural History Museum every year. And so for a Montana T-Rex to become the nation's T-Rex, and it'll be identified prominently that it is Montana. So yeah, it's cool.
A piece of Montana, an impressive and amazing piece at that, now on display for the world to see. In Billings, Samantha Sullivan, MTN News.
The exhibit opens this weekend, and the Wonkels, along with 140 of their closest friends and family, will get a sneak peek. As the weather warms up, an incident on the Gallatin River shows the extreme conditions of Montana's rivers. Search and rescue helped 3 people who became trapped while rafting. A woman was trapped in the water for an hour and suffered hypothermia. 2 men were also discovered stranded upstream. Now search and rescue officials are taking this time to remind all Montanans how quick moving water can be dangerous.
Water deserves respect, regardless of where you are. It looks like the river, it looks like all the other rivers, but it's not. That's a really dangerous stretch. Big cottonwood trees, big rocks, nasty strainers. It's a really hazardous place.
And a reminder to always be prepared as conditions on the water can change rapidly. Experts caution the water is high, cold, and moving at dangerous speeds. Knowing where you're going and mapping out your course are important steps to staying ahead of the unknown. Having the proper equipment is also important.
The water and the wind together can make you colder than you think you're going to get, especially if the clouds take a turn and cover the sun. It can get chilly. So gear-wise, especially in early season, making sure that you do have insulating layers just in case.
And a life jacket can make all the difference, as well as a helmet for rapids. Turning now to health news. If you use a daily probiotic supplement, you might want to take a second look at the label. A new study finds labels on many probiotics do not give consumers the information they need to make an informed purchase. CBS's Wendy Gillette takes a look.
Katie Linden is a holistic health coach and a busy mom of a toddler. She strongly believes in the benefits of probiotics.
It helps with my digestion, so less bloating, ease of digestion, ease of elimination, helped my skin.
But she knows choosing a probiotic is not easy.
That's a bit challenging when you look at the grocery stores and health food stores, but you want to really research the company.
New research from Georgetown University Medical Center examined the labels of 93 different types of probiotics commonly found in drugstores. The study revealed only 33% of the probiotic labels could be linked to health benefits supported by clinical evidence, and many lacked basic information consumers need to make an educated choice.
Often they wouldn't list a dose. They wouldn't list a strain. This is not illegal, but it's just not helpful for people to know if there's evidence or not.
Researchers say the best way to know you're getting the kind of probiotic you want is to look for a label that lists the family, species, and strain of the live bacteria. And a high number of strains is not necessarily a good thing.
Let's say you have 10 different strains and every one is at a super low dose. It's probably not going to do anything. It's probably not even going to survive to get through the stomach.
Researchers say there's a growing number of studies that show the benefits of probiotics.
And it has 3 billion CFU.
That's why Linden vows to keep doing the research for herself and her clients. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
And probiotics are sold as dietary supplements which do not require FDA approval. Stick with us here on Montana This Morning. Still ahead, we head over to Zoo Montana and get an up-close look at the red panda exhibit. And it's one resident that could be the oldest red panda in the world. It's 57 degrees in downtown Billings and the time is 6:14. Stay with us.
You're watching MTN News with Victoria Hill and Storm Tracker weather with Ed McIntosh. This is Montana This Morning on Q2, Montana's news leader.